There we go. Hello, everyone. Welcome to another scene for Sept of the Howling Winds, a werewolf venue set in San Diego. In this scene, we have Dazzles has left early this morning, do a few things, and she's now coming back to seeing Camden and Seer in close proximity to each other. Neither one of them look too happy. So she's like, she doesn't really acknowledge either of them. Nasir kind of looks at her, but she's just like narrowing her eyes and shaking her head and wondering what the fuck is up with that. And then she turns to go to her house, and what does she find when she goes near the house?
There's a quick conversation between Sierra and Brat where Sierra's like, hold on. I have a gift that lets me find Dazzles. Uses it. Well, oh, I didn't need it. Get the bacon.
Dazzles approaches and sees the two of them sitting there, and I'm sure that they both have quite interesting looks on their faces.
Oh yeah, real interesting. Currently, Brat has a big platter on her hands. It's covered with Tupperware, but like you can see some steam coming out.
Okay. So there's food, which that makes her happy because she's constantly hungry now. What would it look like?
Oh, sorry, what was it you said? Out of character?
I asked you to describe Sierra, what she looks like sitting on the porch, the look on her face and stuff.
Alright. You can ever possibly imagine the look that a child has when they find their parents' porn stash and they found out they were into some really crazy shit and they're not going to bring up the topic, but they know they need to bring up the topic because they both know that they know. So there's a conversation that needs to happen.
Oh boy. Okay. So she's gonna look at the two of them and
Not even salty.
she's gonna look at the two of them and she's gonna be like, "Let's go inside. Let's go inside. Because you two look like you have a lot to talk about, and I can only imagine, given who was just walking away from here."
But first, food.
Yep.
Food. You know, we can do this over food. Let's go in. Come on.
All right.
She shoos them into the house.
Brat will scurry in and get like forks for the food and put a table on the table.
Yeah. Sarah will lean in and whisper to Brat really quietly. Okay, she has as much rage as you do. She's told me herself. I think she has a little more than you. Be careful.
Why the fuck do you think I brought food?
Good idea. See, you come up with all the good ideas here.
See. Okay, let's sit down. Okay.
All right. They just keep moving forward like that. They didn't just have that conversation.
Dazzles heard the whispering, but she didn't hear what was said, and she's just gonna be like, "What?" She's thinking to herself, "What the fuck? Hang on." Sit down. She's gonna wait for the two of you to sit down and be like, "Okay, all right." Obviously happened. What is going on?
First, Brat will open up the Tupperware, and Dazzles will be engulfed with a sweet smell of nice fluffy eggs. There's delicious bacon strewn a bunch and potatoes. And look, there's even like a little side dish on the side full of fruit. And Brat will kind of push the plate a little bit more towards Dazzle, but also situate herself and Sierra next to the plate. So it's like they're at like the head of the table and Dazzles is right at the head and they're on the opposite sides. And she'll just hand out forks, be like, delicious food should be eaten first. Just a bit. It's a starting habit thing.
Like, oh my god, like, here,
Here,
Mama
have a
Dazzles,
piece of bacon.
please, put food in your mouth first before we tell you this.
Here, try this decadent bacon. You know what I did with the bacon? I first coated it with some nice cayenne pepper, and then just kind of seasoned it a little bit with bacon when I was with maple while I was frying it. I think it tastes delicious put together. What do you think, Dazzles?
You know what? That smells really. Smells. We're gonna start eating it, and oh, okay, Brat, you're amazing, and you need to cook all the time.
I will do my best.
That's why I bought you
As
all those spices.
I know I feared for their lives earlier. Now, onto the conversation.
And she's gonna eat while she's like looking at she's looking at the two of them and is just, you know, the mom look when she's caught her kids doing something. Like, what the
Brat will merely look at Sierra and give her a pointed, like, eyebrow gesture.
like, here, you do it.
She nods.
Like, you're the adult, you do it.
Threw under the bus like that.
Listen, Brat brought food. She did the first step. The first step is always the hardest step.
All right, so she's gonna rip off the Band-Aid. You know what? I've been trying to find multiple tactful ways to say this, but you know what? I'm going to be impulsive and myself and say this. Why are there multiple men arguing about the future of you and your child?
Oh, boy. Like, tilts her head from side, closes her eyes, takes a deep breath.
We were in the midst of a very interesting conversation between two elders. We were only partially included into the conversation. It was mostly between the two of them. A hero named Ragabash, named Bound by Honor, and
she gets a certain smile on her face when that name is mentioned.
And someone else named an elder named Hands of the Asir. Yeah, they had a lot of opinions about your uterus and the situation.
Yeah, I'm not sure how I felt about all that.
What all did they say?
Fuck it. Most of it boils down to Jesse's impulsive, blah, 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 blah. Hand of a Seer is a homewrecker. Camden mentioned something about this whole thing being a mess that he needed to clean up.
That he was asked to clean up. I don't know who asked him to clean this up, but
she looks really confused by that.
Okay. Someone asked him to clean it up, and he's like a little begrudgingly doing it, but like he figures that's his job or something.
Yeah, it stands to mention that short of the pregnancy itself, everything else after that is news to me.
Okay, so here's the thing. Jesse and Asir go back a long way. They're from the same sept. Asir was even pack mates with Jesse's uncle. So he came here to help with the situation with Nick's daughter. And him and Jesse reconnected, and they are in a relationship, which I am completely fine with. Asir is in no way a homewrecker. I don't understand where that comes from.
I mean, I don't know. Like, from based on every. Go ahead, Brad. I'm sorry.
Oh, no, it's all right.
Camden kind of
Stick that up.
showed up here the other day, and he and I were talking, and Jesse and I had just had a conversation the previous day about someone else that could could help me in meeting the needs that I need met. And you can tell that she's a little uncomfortable telling this to her cub, but it's whatever.
So wait.
I
Look,
mean,
When you say things you need, do you mean? And then she's actually going to hold up her finger and make that into a circle, and then take her finger and insert that into the circle. Needs, or and she's just going to pull out her knife. Needs.
the first one.
both. I
Okay.
mean, I'm pretty sure there are a couple of stores we can go to in San Diego that'll really help you out. Do you
Look,
need it to be a body?
Okay. So, Jesse is gay. Everybody knows that, right? He and I have a.
Last time,
In,
I think it was I or did it make sense? I can't remember. I'm sorry.
I mean,
okay.
Yexi's never exactly told me. I figured he would
No.
straight up tell me one day, but
Jesse. Okay, can you please stop interrupting me and let me speak?
sorry.
He is. He and I have an interesting connection. We both love each other deeply, but I've known for a while even before Asir came into the picture, that physically is and yes, he does love me. He loves me very much, and I love him very much. And there are many ways that we can express our love for each other besides having sex. And us having this child was a decision that we both made. It was not impulsive. It was not something that just happened. And we still maintain that we want this baby and we want to raise it together. Whether that ultimately includes us being together down the line or not remains to be seen. But for now, we are. Our relationship may change and be redefined. But that doesn't mean that we both don't love each other and don't want what's best for our child. He has Nick. He has Asir. And he made me realize that I did need someone else for me. Camden showed up. And a lot of emotions flowed out. I'm pregnant. Hormones run high. He and I instantly connected. I don't know if it's because it's because he and I have similar life experiences that we are. And yes, I've spent a lot of the last 2 days with him. And it sounds like that he and I really need to have a discussion. Because things like that can't be happening. Do I really need a man in my life? No, I don't. But I enjoy the companionship and everything else that goes along with having one. And she shrugs. Any more questions? She doesn't sound like she's trying to shut down the conversation. She just wanted to be able to explain things from her point of view.
All I know is there was a lot of dick waving between Nasir and Bound by Honor, and choices that they would make to handle the situation was flown about. It's a little it's worrisome to me and to Sarah, I know, because basically they want to help. Obviously they would want to help, but the way they're coming about it seems a little high-handed, and like, honestly, it's Sarah, you're better with words.
They're letting their dicks get in the way of the issue.
Gracias. I was gonna say something about agency, but that sounds so much better.
Dazzles will laugh.
I'm sorry, I need.
Oh, you know, it really seems to me that people forget that I am a fucking athro. Jesus, I can handle my own shit. I
I mean,
need to go. I need to go find Camden and have a serious conversation with him.
The way it came out was real bad. And like it
Yeah,
didn't seem like they cared that we were there. Like when shit started getting hot, I really fucking thought that they were gonna destroy my kitchen. Seriously, I had just finished making a nice breakfast, and then all of a sudden I have two elders who are like staring each other down, and then one of them starts talking shit about Jesse, and then the other one, and then Sarah shows up, and then all of a sudden it's just like the whole atmosphere was like tense and thick, and like hackles were getting raised, and me and Sarah fucking thought that they were about to throw down. And you know what? I am not comfortable being in the middle of two elders dick waving contests because they're gonna handle this situation that's not there in their fucking uterus. So, you know what? We skedaddled. Kept an ear out, but fucking skedaddled the hell out of there. And I told them if there was a mess, they would clean it up because I made the food. They can handle that. But they make a mess. Not even one fork was broken, which I am happy for. Still, I'm annoyed.
Dad.
I am very annoyed as well. Oh, she looks like she's not annoyed with the two of them. She's very annoyed with Camden and Asir, really. Like, okay, neither one of them are gonna trust that Jesse and I can handle our shit. Fine. Oh my god. Look, I know that Jesse can come off like aloof and impulsive, but I do not doubt his commitment to me and our child. I don't. He gave me no indication that he was going to flake off from that. Oh,
All right, great, excellent.
it really just sounds like people are making their own assumptions without actually talking to the people, the two people involved, the two people having the baby.
I think parts of the world
I
is.
mean, yes, I was feeling a little like I was being pushed out of the situation because Jesse was being a little distant from me, and but I also knew that he was going through a lot. He went to Malpheus, for fuck's sake. So I'm trying to be very understanding of that. But it's okay if he doesn't want to have sex with me. That's not an issue.
Perception empathy.
Go ahead.
Does left side count for this? No. I don't know.
No, that's only based on movement.
Brat could only roll perception, so she can't do shit.
You can roll just perception. Empathy is a talent. It's not even at a reduced diff or at a higher diff. So you just roll your perception if you'd like.
I gotta remember to buy Brat empathy too. I keep on forgetting.
Den mom, what the fuck? I like that.
I got 2.
Brat's not getting
And
anything.
none. Oh, okay. You got two. So she actually looks like she's okay with it. She's made peace with it. She's fine.
Brat's just gonna take her word as her word and be like, okay, if you say so. Well, is it?
So-
Well, I was kind of under the impression that it was a you, Nick, and Jesse thing.
That's originally it was. I was going to be a surrogate for Nick and Jesse, and then Jesse got to where he really was wishing he could have a child with me. And Nick was only doing it to make Jesse happy because what Nick wanted was to adopt Meta's babies with Jesse. That's what he wanted. She kind of laughs. Um, Jesse at first said he didn't want any children, and then he got to where he really wanted to have a baby with me, and we talked about it a lot before we actually decided to do it.
Because you're both consenting adults.
And Nick and I are friends. We get along really well. We've slept in the same bed. We've seen each other naked. It's not an issue.
Sarah raises.
She laughs. But yeah, we decided that we wanted to do this because we both look. I told you, Sierra, the story of my first child and what happened with his father.
She nods. Her hand still raised.
Because of the first law of the litany, honestly, he ran away because he was scared he was going to die because he got me pregnant. Goes off and joins the fucking Black Spiral Dancers.
Are you serious? That's some great stupidity right there.
Oh yeah,
Sorry.
oh yeah, Brat, you haven't heard this story, have you? So he gets me pregnant. He goes and he joins the Black Spiral Dancers, and then a few years later, he comes back with his pack to try and take my son for their ranks. And I killed him.
Good. He sounds like a real leader.
I killed him.
Good.
I killed the man that I once loved very deeply.
Dazzles, in honesty, you protected your son.
Oh, I know I did. And I would do it again. But because in our society it is so frowned upon, it is so wrong to fall in love and have a child with another Geru that for fear of their lives, Geru will abandon their other Geru mate and their child and go do something stupid. And our children are taken away, and to save face, we have to foster them out. That's what I had to do with Bailey.
I'm sorry, honey. That's terrible.
I still got to teach him after he had his change, but I didn't get to raise him. I had to treat him just like any other cub. I missed out on a lot of my son's life because of the first law of the litany. We shouldn't be punished for loving one another.
Hand's still up.
Yes, Sierra.
At what point did Coyote get involved in this whole thing?
Coyote's involved?
Um, so Jesse told me that he had a conversation with Coyote. Uh, Coyote told him to follow his heart, and that there would be there would be some things in store. And I already know that Wisdom of the Earth has had visions about me and what I'm to do. So we took a chance on prophecy and love and a spirit's guidance.
So what did... Now that this has happened now, what is the elders' responses? We haven't heard anything yet. Like, I'm not gonna lie.
Because it was supposed to. At first, we were supposed to just not say anything until it became apparent that I was pregnant, but Jesse and I decided that that's not what we wanted to do. We didn't want to just deny anything because that's not why we did this. So, I don't know exactly what our punishment is going to be, but we will be punished. As is customary, we won't be punished as severely as other septs might. Like, we won't be separated from our child or each other. We won't even be outcast from the sept, but there will be a punishment. And fortunately, a lot of my generation of Garu see the first law of the litany as I do, and or have been looking for a way to try to muster some sort of I don't even know what to call it, some sort of means to change it. You'd be surprised the number of Athros and even elders that see the flaws in the first law and would love nothing more than to see it changed or abolished.
That's fair, I suppose.
And we realized that in order to really change things, we do have to start with the younger generation, the Geru coming in. We have to stop perpetuating the stereotypes and the fear. I actually got that wake-up call when Lefty died, before Jesse and I even ever started anything. When Lefty died, I know he died because I kept him and Kate apart. And Kate told him that she couldn't be with him, and he took that very hard. And the accounts that I've heard from the way he died is he threw himself at the Black Spiral dancers. He could have gotten away, but he chose not to. So that is a guilt that I carry with me always. She closes her eyes and some tears run down her face. And then Kyle and Desiree. She shakes her head. If two people, whether they're gay or not, want to be together, why shouldn't we let them? Because they might have a child that is born in Krynos and has a deformity, so what? Some of our finest warriors are metis. And they know that if they do want to carry on their line, take a kinfolk lover. First law of the litany puts way too much pressure on our kinfolk.
They're essentially like breeding stock, right?
A lot of tribes treat them that way, yes, that they're nothing more than good stock for breeding. And that is not the way we should be treating our kin, those that are closest to us, related to us, those that help us survive in the mundane world, because a lot of us have too much rage to even be on the fucking street. Like, they help us so much. They are the reason we can function in this increasingly weaverish world. And yet we treat them like garbage. Because we have to breed with them. We're so desperate to keep going. I mean, honestly, if you really look at it, the fastest way to increase our numbers is to have metis. It's a shorter pregnancy period. They don't take as long to mature.
Wait, really? I didn't know that.
They age at the midway point between wolf and man before they have their first change. So a metis can get to maturity in almost half the time as a normal human until they have their first change. And then after their first change, they age normally just as a lupus does. So if it's a matter of, for some more militant tribes, to increase our numbers and produce more warriors, making metis makes a lot of sense. So I don't understand. I don't understand why they haven't figured that out yet. I do understand, because it is a way for those in power to control the rest of us. Because love is a very powerful thing. And if you control how someone loves, you control them.
Tina raises her hand again.
Yes?
Doesn't that just make female Gara breeding stock then?
Oh, of course. Female Garu are treated like absolute shit in this nation.
Backtrack, what?
If a female Garu chooses to not mate, oh my god. The ridicule that she can suffer. Even, I've seen some exiled from seps because they refuse to mate. They refuse to breed. And heaven forbid if you're infertile.
Sierra looks super confused at that.
But like, what if it's a time of war and it's more prudent to not be pregnant so you could be out there on their front lines immediately?
She shakes her head.
But like,
If
if
you're a
pregnant,
female Garu of a certain age and you have not had children, there is a lot that can come down on you for that.
looks at Sierra, is it too much to hope to get killed in action?
Why do you think a lot of Garu are suicidal on their missions? Our nation is fucked up. It's misogynistic.
I knew it was a cult. Stupid Yessie, and he's like, no, it's not a cult. No, it's a fucking cult.
It is.
Remember Martinez told me I would end up with a cult. Uh,
But even if the first tenet were to be abolished, the issue would still be there, only instead, Garu would be then pressured to make Metis. Which is factually a far more dangerous pregnancy. Now, if, let's say, the first tenet were abolished and a woman chose to do that, fine, okay.
What needs to happen is that the nation needs to shift the way they see Garu and our reproduction. It needs to be a choice. And if honestly, if Garu are given more freedom to love who they want and have children should they choose to, I guarantee you our numbers will increase faster than they are now.
Sierra, has Yessie talked to you about our idea for like a little sex health education booth? I feel like this is a really
And
good idea.
women,
Definitely not.
female Garu pregnant with Metis shouldn't be forced to have to wait until that child claws or bites their way out of their uterus before it's born.
Wait, what? Backtrack again? And Brat will actually make a show of like crisscrossing her legs tightly. Go back again? Please, repeat.
The way Metis are born, they're born in Krynos,
I know that part.
which means I'll have to be in Krynos when this child is born. And if the child has not gotten out of me, which would be the humane way to do a cesarean section.
Wait on the cesarean section.
Which,
No, my first child, he bit his way out of my uterus because he doesn't have any claws. Metis will
Lord.
bite or claw their way out of our uterus when they're ready to come out, and that causes a tremendous amount of scarring. A lot of female Garu die or lose their uteruses entirely because of it.
Good fucking God.
Because they can't watch them and have a cesarean section done like 2 days before they're ready to come out. Really.
Why not? Is it
That's why I say the nation is horrible to female Garu, making
why?
us go through that. Because I think it's a quote punishment for being pregnant in the first place with a metis to remind us why we don't do that.
Why is it so hard to just
She
have
says that with a lot of venom.
like once you start having Braxton Hicks, be like, okay, it's time for you to put you in a cesarean, and you put it in like a little preemie thing, and then wait for
We know
them to.
approximately how long it takes for a metis to mature in the womb. There are rites we can do to pinpoint exactly when it's going to be born.
Can we do that with you? Because the
Oh,
whole
yeah, it's being done with me. I'm not going through that a second time.
yes, because I've been researching how to do it.
excuse
File.
me, Brat's gonna get up, pace a little, do her breathing exercises, and actually, I'm gonna have to. I think I'm gonna do a willpower, just because Brat's already kind of grossed out by the idea of sex, let alone pregnancy. Like the whole thing with the bodies is just like no, this is her no zone. Her uncomfortable. Where is it? Where is the willpower? 5.
Okay. Dazzles, I'm going to be honest with you. When Jesse told me about all this, I told him what I thought. I
Oh
may not
God.
be entirely on board with the whole thing personally, but Jesse's still my packmate, and I still care about you. I've actively gone out and read books about pregnancy. I've gone out
Okay.
and tried to learn more about movements out there that support this, like the Lazarite movement.
Okay.
And I'm a
He
black
actually,
Fury, and so with all due respect, Raya, I know the state of women in the nation.
I know you do. It was mostly for Brat that I was being so blunt.
Brat's a little kind of heaving stops. She's good. She's good. There is no puking. She's
It would take.
normally good with like blood and oil, but let's not do pregnancy.
There's
So you
things.
don't want to watch. So you don't want to watch me have my baby, Brat.
I will be in support, and I will be as close as possible without heaving. Because if I heave, then it will take attention away, and that's just a very unsanitary space for a child. I like babies. I don't know how I feel about babies clawing out of you like alien. Except this in a more special place than just your rib cage. I don't know, something about, bursting out of your uterus sounds a little bit more. So yeah, Sarah, so about that whole sex education booth, I really do think we should be doing that. Hand out pamphlets.
I can definitely write them.
We can do like the comparisons between STDs and the worm. Like little worms are a thing. And they're genital worms, so they're like even more gross. And I don't know, more stuff. Maybe it'll help with the more chauvinistic ideologies that we have. Education is usually the first step. I read that somewhere, I think. But who knows? I could be wrong.
Okay, to clarify for our viewers and everyone, Dazzles was not trying to explain to Sierra. She wasn't essentially, quote, mansplaining women's issues to a Black Fury. She was giving her personal account of how horrible women are mistreated in the nation because she has been subjected to that mistreatment. She wanted to make very clear how she feels women are treated because she's felt that personally. And it didn't mean any disrespect towards the Black Fury.
Speaking of, though, I didn't know how many ways you could apply silver to actual Higaru wealth. That's interesting.
What did
Wait,
she say?
what?
She didn't. What did she say? She didn't know what?
You didn't know how much silver could be used to help out with Garu health.
Oh yeah, because silver permanently it makes sure that something doesn't grow back. So permanent sterilization or permanent removal of, should a girl happen to get cancer, it's really rare, but
Why do I feel like this is used more often in a punishment kind of mentality?
Because it is.
Damn it, yes, see, I told you I don't want to be in a cult. Okay.
Oh, okay. Let me. I will be very brutally honest with you about this. You are something of fanatics. Gaia, who is spirit, but the entire world around us. And we are in a never ending war to save her. We know that we're losing and we're going to lose, but we have to try. And we keep going. But along the way, we're tearing ourselves apart. What kind of quality of life are we having? We're already at war with the worm
Within
trying.
ourselves.
We're just destroying ourselves. We're going to cause our own demise much faster than the worm ever could. And I wish Morgeru would see that.
Brat will offer Dazzles another piece of the bacon.
She'll take it.
I'm sorry about the flip out, by the way, Dazzles Raya. A lot of people have tried to tell me about what I already believe.
See, for me, it's not something I believe, it's something I've experienced.
So I'm sorry about that.
It's okay. Just because I'm not a Black Fury doesn't mean I don't feel passionately about how women are treated in the nation.
I mean, you're a woman. You should. It's literally like us all.
I mean, that's why I'm choosing to have another Metis, because I want to. It's my choice.
And that's ultimately why I support you.
Mm-hmm. You're an adult, and as long as you and Yesi are safe, and the little one, we will support you. Just, do our best to help you guys out while not taking your agency away. Because we're not assholes.
Yeah. So, would I mate with another guy? Probably not. But
And that is entirely your choice. You don't have to.
But goddamn, if I'm gonna see someone that gets spiritual guidance about this, and then everyone's ready to pounce over it. That's all I mean to say. Sorry.
It's okay. This isn't easy, rebelling against the nation. It's not an undertaking that I considered lightly. I will assure you of that. And I made sure that Jesse knew exactly what he was getting into. So he didn't go about this lightly either. It might seem like an impulsive decision on his part, but I assure you it was not.
And since you were part of that decision, we will trust your judgment. You were literally fucking there. I didn't mean that as a pun, but that's just how it came out.
Yep. Kind of confused as to why I didn't get a vision about this, though. Wow.
And so we will respect your choices. As long as, y'all are fucking safe, because that's what really matters.
Yeah.
Well, I assure you that we are
Ooh.
safe here on this sept. We are not going to be killed, cast out, exiled, nothing like that.
Just in case. I mean, you can't literally smell crazy. If you could smell crazy, I think our issues would be a lot easier to handle.
Nope, we can only smell pure breed.
There you go. And there you go. So yeah, we make you guys feel sure everything is safe and shit. They respect their choices, and when your child decides to make their appearance, which takes on a whole nother gravity of the actual term, actually takes on a whole new meaning. When your child decides to make their appearance, we will support you, and I will be in the corner. I will be supporting you from the corner. Okay, just like from the far corner over there. Supporting you, but like paying attention to the wall. Your walls are really nice here.
she she stands up and she goes over to hug Brat.
Brat will accept the hug happily and just kind of stuff potatoes in her mouth.
It's very warm and loving and motherly. And she'll reach over
Yeah.
and squeeze Sierra's shoulder.
I mean, why wouldn't we? Sierra's part of pack with Yesi. You're my Ben Madre. Yesi is my Ben Tio. It would be like super fucking rude if we did it. What kind of people would we be, right, Sierra?
Now, if you don't have anything else, I really need to go find Camden
I mean,
and make sure he understands
stuff.
the situation. Because I think that he might have misread some things.
Well,
And remind him that I am an
mhm.
Athro and he's an Adrian. She kind of growls.
Just do what you gotta do, hun. Yeah. Guess we could do stuff. Hey, Sierra.
Uh, uh, yeah. Sorry.
Uh, since Dazzles wants to go talk to Bounds by Honor in a very, very important discussion I'm sure they will be having. Well, she will be having, and he will be listening because really, what can he say? Do I don't want to. I don't know. Go talk about Black Fury stuff.
Um. Yeah. 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 Let's do that.
Well, alright then. We can go talk about Black Fury stuff while Dazzles goes and writes a situation.
Yeah.
Bitch is getting shit done. And Brat will sit up and kind of clean up the plate. She'll leave some bacon for everyone else, but like the potatoes are hers.
Yeah, Dazzles is done eating. So Brat is more than welcome to eat whatever is left. And she's gonna head out the door.
So Black Fury stuff.
Black Fury stuff. All the Black Fury stuff, because there's like a lot I don't know, and yes, he doesn't know to tell me. So I talked to my nearest Black Fury. I'll talk to the oh my goodness, I forgot the I don't remember her name. There's another Black Fury. It's Sierra. Sierra, who is the other Black Fury girl?
It's Gabby.
There you go,
Gabby.
Gabby.
Yeah.
You see, you are Gabby, and honestly, I'm a little closer to you right now. I feel like we've bonded over the trauma of the description of Metis births.
I didn't find it that traumatic, but I can. If you're, yeah, no. If you're queasy, yeah, it's super. Yeah. There's a
I'm
lot.
not even, I'm not even like into that stuff. Like seriously, Hermana Martinez said, "You don't even hold hands with a boy, or you'll get pregnant." So I never held hands with a boy, and it worked out. And now all of a sudden, all these sorts of things, no me gusta.
That's fair.
I mean, I also know Hermana Martinez was like fucking crazy. But like the thought of, be careful of pregnancy is very alive, especially now. I mean, that shit's life threatening even in humans.
Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty. It's pretty.
And I guess with that, we can end the scene with Sierra talking to Brat about Black Fury shit, and Brat calming her stomach down from horrifying images of children doing stuff to lower abdomen areas of your body if you are a woman. Silent shudder. As she calms her stomach down with more potatoes. I guess that's good.
All right. Thank you, players, for playing, and thank you, watchers, for watching. We'll see you next time.